Fresh Purdue Value Pack chicken thighs with drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. All varieties of potatoes just $4.99 for a 5-pound bag. Dole pineapple slices for your Christmas ham, only $1.89 for a 20-ounce tin. For your mac and cheese, Catelli macaroni, just $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Tropicana Premium Orange Juice, only $5.49 for a 59-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, November 28th, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. David Burt, the Premier, has discussed the leak of the offshore Paradise Papers with British Prime Minister Theresa May. It came up during a meeting in London where Mr. Burt is with other leaders from the overseas territories. Mr. Burt said he thanked Theresa May for her defense of the territories in the face of international criticism.
It was a pleasure to meet with the Prime Minister this morning as the President of the Political Council of the UK Overseas Territories. I led the discussion this morning on the shared priorities that the UK Overseas Territories had and made sure that the United Kingdom is fulfilling its commitment to all of its overseas territories. I also took the opportunity to reinforce the fact that Bermuda is leading the world in tax transparency, and we expect that particular issue to be recognized from the United Kingdom in our ongoing discussions with the European Union.
Did this subject come up between you and the Prime Minister of Bermuda's tax status in light of the so-called Paradise Papers?
Absolutely. The Paradise Papers was raised, and I thank the Prime Minister for her defense of Bermuda and the overseas territories and the fact of the various items of which we have implemented over the past few years, which has made the United Kingdom Overseas Territories leaders in the area of tax compliance. From Bermuda's perspective, we have demonstrated the fact that we're a leader. And what I want to remind, as I delivered to the BDA earlier today when they had a conference here in London, is that the the European Union is putting together a list of non-cooperative tax jurisdictions. And what Bermuda is a cooperative tax jurisdiction. So we do not believe that we have anything to fear from the European Union during this process.
And it was announced that the UK government will be pumping in more relief money for those Caribbean territories battered by Hurricanes Irma and Maria.
This was an announcement that the Prime Minister made at our morning meeting, and certainly those additional funds were welcomed by the territories which were affected. But the fact is that there is much more than is needed than what has been pledged in order to ensure that these territories can have sustainable economies going forward. Just an example, the British Virgin Islands suffered what they expect to be the damage of which they suffered was more than 3 times of their annual GDP, and they're actually expecting to have a 40% decline in their GDP year over year due to these storms. So Bermuda's participation in some of the sessions of which we held today is how we can assist going forward.
In other news, the Bermuda Police Service says it is aware of allegations circulating on social media about past inappropriate sexual conduct by a former member of the Cornerstone Bible Church. To date, no criminal complaints have been made to the BPS. Police would like to remind the public that formal complaints are required by law in order for the police to investigate such allegations. Online statements and social media posts do not qualify as formal complaints. Because it's a sensitive subject, police have established a single point of contact so that complainants can be assured that they will be treated with dignity and that their investigation will be conducted in strict confidence. The person to call if you have a complaint is Detective Inspector Mark Clark on 247-1086, or you can always call the independent and confidential Crime Stoppers hotline at 800-8477. And the Bermuda Police Service is appealing for the public's assistance in locating 14-year-old Hillary Coddington. Ms. Coddington, a student of the Barclay Institute, is described as brown-complexioned, between 5 feet 1 inch and 5 feet 2 inches tall, with her hair in long braids. She was apparently last seen on Monday, November 27th in the city of Hamilton, wearing her school uniform. There is concern for the well-being of Ms. Coddington, who has never gone missing before and is said to frequent the city of Hamilton as well as the Stowe Court, Pembroke area. In addition, she usually usually travels on foot or by bus and has been known to visit the St. George's area. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of 14-year-old Hillary Coddington is asked to contact the police telephone number at 295-0011 at the earliest opportunity. We'll stay with us. More news in tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
You can count on us.
Fresh Purdue Value Pack chicken thighs with drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. All varieties of potatoes just $4.99 for a 5-pound bag. Dole pineapple slices for your Christmas ham only $1.89 for a 20-ounce tin. For your mac and cheese, Catelli macaroni just $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Tropicana premium orange juice only $5.49 for a 59-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
When you shop online, the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to bring your packages into Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
I enjoy the service a lot. It's very fast.
U.S. Express is always on time, and they always call you to come get your goods on time.
The cashback, when you get enough deliveries, is really nice. It's an added bonus.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
Welcome back. Well, big news from the British royal family this week as His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales proposed to American actress Meghan Markle, reaching global headlines. The media have raised some talking points about the upcoming nuptials between 33-year-old Prince Harry and 36-year-old Miss Markle, the fact that she's not British, a divorcee, and is to become the first mixed-race member of the Windsor family. So how do we feel about the recent engagement here in Bermuda? Is it a royal dream or a non-story?
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy for him. I wish him all the best, and yeah, it's pretty much it.
I think she's lovely, and I think they'll make a wonderful couple and have fun.
I think that the engagement's very sweet. They look very happy, and I hope that they have many years of happiness.
I don't know who he is.
Prince Harry of England?
Nope.
Okay.
So clear, I don't care.
So what are your feelings about Prince Harry being engaged?
I think it's great, actually. The fact that he found somebody and he loves and is getting married.
Well, that should be a good thing. They look kind of happy together. I saw them last night on the news. They look kind of happy together. I hope they have a good marriage like everybody else. Everybody's out for chance.
I don't particularly care about it, but I'm quite happy to hear it.
Yeah, it's a big thing to the world, but I think it's pretty cool to, being that our ethnicity and everything like that. Yeah.
I think it's terrific that he's being engaged, yeah, and look forward to seeing everything on TV in the new year.
They are indeed a beautiful couple. Acting Governor Ginny Ferguson said, quote, "I am sure many Bermudians and Bermuda residents will join me in welcoming the news of the engagement of HRH, the Prince Henry of Wales, to Ms. Meghan Markle, announced yesterday. We wish them well for a long and happy life together," unquote. The couple are set to be married in May of 2018 at Windsor Palace. In other news, the Ministry of Economic Development and Tourism is today reiterating government's commitment that Gates Beach, more commonly referred to as Fort St. Catherine Beach, will remain open, accessible to the public. The spokesperson says the ministry has been made aware of concerns raised at a recent public meeting between residents and the hotel developers about the term reasonable access, as stated in the St. George's Resort Act of 2015, which reads in part that the public shall have free of charge reasonable access to any beach and foreshore on the property. The ministry wishes to remind the public that this is a public beach and that the developers are aware of this and supportive of its use by all. The ministry and developers remain open to keep the St. George's residents and their constituency members of Parliament apprised of the development as it progresses. In other news, the new Tourism Investment Act appears to be generating quite a buzz with its custom duty relief and incentives. The Bermuda Tourism Authority Chief Investment Officer Andy Burrows outlines the objectives of the new act.
The Tourism Investment Act has 5 objectives. One is to stimulate tourism investment activity across hotels, restaurants, and attractions. The second, and probably the most important aspect of it, is to create jobs. And we want to make the incentives available to Bermudians as well as foreign investors. Fourthly, we want to standardize the incentives for tourism investment. And then finally, to standardize the legislative process for tourism, for all tourism products. Through that, we think that if we do that, we can cause Bermudians to want to invest in hotels, restaurants, and attractions that are in need of investment and development now, as well as facilitate a easier mechanism for foreign direct investments to happen in Bermuda in tourism. We were happy to have the opportunity to host the Caribbean Hotel Investment Conference and Operators Summit last and the 10th, 11th of November. And during that we had 300 high-profile hoteliers and developers on the island. What we have been doing so far from the Bermuda Tourism Authority has definitely changed the way Bermuda's been viewed internationally, and as we know, locally. Those individuals who were here had an opportunity to see the island, see the developments that are going on, the St. George's development, Morgan's Point, Caroline Bay development, see some opportunities for development, Daniel's Head, the Victualling Yard, toured the Lauren, which is a new development, and actually also saw Azura, which is another development going on. We haven't had that many developments going on for a long time in Bermuda.
It's still November and Christmas trees are a hot commodity at certain venues around the island, and Mike Sharp reports.
Hi, I'm Mike Sharp here in Warwick at Lindo's Family Foods, where the first and only batch of Christmas trees have arrived. Let's turn to Zach Monis here. Zach, how many trees, and were you expecting them around this time of year?
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit early, Mike, but this is probably right on time. Usually that first day in December is the week that we get them. So first day in December is Friday, and we'll be getting them, or we have them. Yeah. So yeah, we got about 202 trees, and we probably have 120 trees left. So they're going quick. If you want a tree, come out soon and get one.
Any more coming after this batch?
This is it. We only get one container. That's all I can physically take. Selling trees for 1 week. If we had to do it 2 weeks, I think I would probably have to take 2 weeks off just before Christmas. And that's not possible. So,
what's the price like? It has always creeped up yearly almost. What is it at now?
Well, our prices have been pretty stagnant probably over the last 5 or 6 years. But for a 6 to 7 foot tree, you're looking at about $95. So that's probably the average tree size that everybody gets.
Still under 100.
For a 6 to 7 foot tree, yes.
Yeah. What's the demand? Is it for the smaller one, or the preference is?
From 6 feet to 8 feet. That's where the people are.
The bulk?
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
I see a massive one there. It looks like it's all of, got to be 18.
12 footers in there. Yeah. Some people do special order those. Sometimes it's an exempt company that's putting one up in their building, and they've got lots of ceiling height. But generally speaking, it's maybe 3 or 4 of those. Top between the 2 stores, we might have 10 of those size. But generally speaking, it's the 8 foot, and then you get some 8 to 9s and 9 to 10s. But it's 6 to 8 feet is the general.
Is this a welcome boost for the store?
Is it a welcome boost? Well, parts of the store, not my part. No, it's great. We love it. It's a lot of fun to get out here and interact with the customers in this way, because it's actually, a change is as good as a break. So when you're inside the shop all day and then you get to be outside doing something that you wouldn't get to do any other day, it's kind of fun after a while.
So you heard it, folks. There will not be many Christmas trees left up here at Warwick at Lindo's Family Foods. If you're thinking about buying one of them, you better get a move on. I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Mike. Christmas is coming so quickly this year. Turning to weather news, a mix of sun and cloud for our Wednesday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm your AccuWeather meteorologist, Daji Aswad. I hope everyone's having a good evening here across Bermuda. Let's take you to the satellite and show you what's happening. We have high pressure building here across Bermuda and well to the north as well. That's going to keep us in a very dry and very stable pattern for the next few days. Further south, there's some moisture there. That could bring us some cloudy conditions as we head into tonight, but it won't be much in the way of any rain or shower conditions for tonight. See, just a few clouds out to the south, not too much over Bermuda as of now. But as for our current conditions, we're going to see our temperatures stay right near normal. We're expecting our temperatures in the lower 70s across the island. Humidity 68%, little less than what we saw yesterday. And as for your winds out of the northeast, 10 to 15 knots. Water temperature at 73, and waves in the reef 1 to 2 feet. Waves out 4 to 7. And as for tonight's forecast, here's another reminder. Mostly cloudy, like we said. A few clouds can slip in tonight. Low of 64 degrees. And for tomorrow, middle of the week, looking great out there. Times of clouds and sun with a high of 71. We can see a low of 65 for your evening time hours. For all you boaters out there, here's a look at your marine conditions. We saw a high, our first high tide at 3:56 p.m. this evening, and then our second high tide will be expected at 4:35 on your Wednesday. And if you're getting away doing some traveling this week, here's a look at what we can expect. Toronto, 42 for the high with mostly cloudy conditions. New York, mostly sunny skies, topping off at 58 degrees. Atlanta in the 70s, dry conditions. Miami still seeing some wet weather, topping off at 81. And across the Caribbean, here's a look at Jamaica, still remaining quite stormy out there. Periods of rain and showers, as well as a possibility for a thunderstorm. Barbados, Trinidad in the upper 80s, but with mostly cloudy conditions, possibility of a passing brief shower. Here at home for our extended forecast, we talked about some rain yesterday happening or even some showers. We're pushing that back farther into your Saturday. Thursday, still looking nice here across Bermuda. Friday, that's when we get some clouds rolling in. We'll see a front make its way into our area, and that will link up with the low pressure system to the south, and that just means we're going to see a lot of moisture make its way into our area. So by Sunday, we can expect some rain and showers here in Bermuda, and then by Sunday, not taking wet weather off the map just yet, but we're going to leave it at mostly cloudy conditions. And stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all your latest news and updates.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Visit Bermuda's #1 furniture store today. Big savings zone, Southside St. David's.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there is no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 29th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any Marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores and purchase extra tins and non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donations into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company and the Royal Gazette.
Turning to sports, the annual Sports Awards forms are out, and the Director of Youth Sports and Recreation, Norbert Simons, advises you, the public, of what is required to nominate someone for an award. Earl Basden has all the details in tonight's Sports Report.
In what could be only described as near-perfect conditions, the 2017 edition of the Gosling's Invitational got underway earlier today right here at the Port Royal Golf Course. We'll have roundup and details of the first day's play in subsequent sportscasts. But now it is getting near time to put in who you think should be the female and male athlete of the year. We caught up with the Director of Youth, Sport and Recreation, Norbert Simons, to get an update on the paperwork being sent out and what they're expecting from you, the general public.
Well, we are looking for from the public to have detailed information on anyone that they nominate for any of the categories. Because some of the challenge sometimes is that we just get names and nothing to back it up. And so, do you consider just the name? And the more information that they give us, the better it is, because at the end of the day, as we always state, that the committee can only deliberate on the information that's provided to it. We cannot bring anything else to the table. So that's what we're looking for this year, that, when the public submits their nominations, or more importantly, the National Sports Governing Body submit their nominations, that they submit all of the necessary information with it so that we can at least deliberate correctly, and should that person be or group be successful, then we can do a proper bio for the sports awards.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmount, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
The 2017 CEA Regional Jumping Challenge came to a very successful conclusion for Bermuda show jumping riders, with the Bermuda team once again claiming the top spot against participating Caribbean countries. Bermuda had to wait a day after the event to determine the winners, with other results having to come in. In addition to winning the team division event, Bermuda's Carista Urbane riding Just Pete and Kelsey Amos riding Wiratoro were the overall individual winners in the .70 meter and 1.00 meter divisions, respectively. Two gentlemen are vying for the post of the next president of the Bermuda Cricket Board. During Inside Sports Talk Radio, we got a chance to speak to both men about their platforms. First, we hear from Gershon Gibbons.
Focus areas that I really want to put a lot of attention to is player development and getting cricket back in the schools. I think it's very important for our development of our game and the longevity. It's very important that the Bermuda Cricket Board work with the Ministry of Education, the Department of Youth, Sport and Recreation, in order for us to make sure that the youngsters that we do have are interested in playing a national sport. And as a national sport, we need to be treated as a national sport within these schools, and making sure that we, meaning the Bermuda Cricket Board, help the schools and the Ministry of Education to improve.
And now we hear from Lloyd Smith.
What we've been doing so far has not been working. And, as people say, doing the same thing, looking for a different result, hasn't worked. So we have to go and look at cricket differently. We have to look at exactly what we can do to change the perception from the public as well. You know what I mean? So one of my biggest things, and one thing I've been letting all the clubs know, is that we need to make sure that the Bermuda Cricket Board is accountable to its stakeholders, accountable to the club as well as the public. So we need to basically get in, do a strategic business plan, projections for 3 to 5 years when it comes to schools, domestic program, international program, and basically let the public know, because we need buy-in from the public as well as the clubs, to let them know exactly what we're looking to do. So when things happen, when we know that we're going on tour or the domestic league has changed, everybody knows exactly where we're going and what we're trying to produce in the next 5 years.
The Axel Catlin Bermuda Squash Rackets Association Club Championships got underway last evening. 3 games went 5 games to decide a winner. Headley Farah defeated Anthony White in their men's open division match in 5 games, 11-6, 7-11, 8-11, 11-1, 11-7. Patrick Neal also needed 5 games to defeat Mark Zool, 10-12, 9-11, 11-8, 11-2, 11-7 in their men's veterans open division matchup. In the same division, Ian Fox defeated Paul West, 12-10, 11-8, 3-11, 6-11, 12-10. Behind a massive offensive effort from their starters, Lyndon Jackson and his Old College men's basketball teammates got past St. Mary's University 99-79 at the Ralph Klein Center. Jackson scored 46 points to lead Old College to victory. Jackson also brought in 10 rebounds to record a double-double while shooting 20 for 33 from the floor. In 36 minutes of action, Jackson would also add 5 assists and 1 steal. Finnegan and his Florida Institute of Technology men's tennis teammates wrapped up their 2017 Panther Clay Court Invitational after collecting 8 wins out of 10 matches played against Eastern Florida. In doubles, J.J. Clark and Finnegan brought Florida its second win of the day as the duo defeated Andreas Wise and Michael Louis Nels 8-4. Entering the singles matchup, Finnegan pitched in to bring the total to 5 games as he sealed a 6-love, 6-2 victory over Wise.
Tonight's sports has been brought to you by the all-new Boundary at Fairmont, Southampton, the West End's only sports bar. Catch all the action and enjoy smoked to perfection barbecue, beer, and other pub favorites. It's game on at Boundary.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us. Mixed peel farine, just $3.99 per pound for your Christmas baking. Certified Angus beef, fresh top sirloin roast, only $8.99 per pound. Heinz Crunchy and Tangy Piccalilli, just $2.99 for a 310-gram jar. Select varieties of stovetop stuffing, only $2.89 for a 6-ounce box. Select varieties of Sargento shredded cheese, just $4.29 for a 7-ounce package. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us. One of the best-known writers of inequality in the U.S., Chuck Collins, has been speaking in Hamilton at an event organized by the Bermuda Community Foundation. Mr. Collins talked about his book, Born on Third Base, which argues the rich should give up more of their wealth. But first, he had the unusual experience of hearing 8 young debaters argue over his ideas. Hal Davis tells us more.
They've been going through poverty by themselves, so therefore they've been independent their whole lives.
Thank you. But where is your government in all of this?
It was a debate that sometimes became fairly heated, a way the organisers said of exploring the ideas of Chuck Collins, author of Born on Third Base. He himself came from a wealthy family. His great-grandfather was the meatpacker Oscar Mayer. But in his 20s, Collins gave away a $500,000 trust fund. His book is an appeal to the wealthiest to do likewise, or at least contribute more in taxes and connect with their communities.
In this book, Born on Third Base, I basically speak to people who have wealth, and I do actually try to bring some empathy to this circumstances, but my argument is, or my invitation to my fellow one percenters is to come home. Put yourself, commit to a place. Stop being part of a kind of global capital that's moving around so fast, but put a stake in a place, a community, an island.
But with a Republican president and the US Congress discussing tax proposals that are widely seen as favoring the rich, is now a good time to be calling on the wealthy to pay more.
Only 16% of the US public supports this tax cut. Most people don't think it's a good idea to give the rich more tax cuts. Networks like the Patriotic Millionaires that I'm part of are out campaigning against these tax cuts. So it's actually, as we become more unequal, it's not unusual to see the wealthy use their wealth and power to keep their wealth and power. But we think there's also a countervailing force of wealthy people saying we need to work toward a more equitable society. So it's a little bit of a tension right now.
Collins says modern supercharged capitalism has ramped up inequality to levels not seen in 100 years, with those owning capital dominating both economically and politically. The wealth gap is especially wide between the races.
Part of it was the weakening of trade unions and the weakening of kind of civil society and the concentration of wealth and power and the ability to change essentially the power of capital capturing our democratic systems and our societies.
But Collins remains optimistic that change will come. He says a growing number of people are aware of deepening inequality and regard the status quo as unsustainable.
Right now, it's a tiny minority power that's holding the system in place. There's an undercurrent shifting. I mean, in the United States, if you ask how many people feel like the economy is rigged to benefit the wealthy or the elites, it's like 70–80% of the population feels that way.
That argument is part of a growing debate about inequality in the developed world, but not one shared apparently by the audience in Hamilton. Perhaps influenced by the debating skills on show, it finally voted against the proposition that the rich should share their wealth.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Good night.